Welcome to Take Two, where we get down to the nitty-gritty and talk all things relationships. Say hey, babe.
Hey now.
I heard something go off, so that means... Did it start?
Maybe.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm blindfolded, and no, this is not a bird box challenge. I'm not really blindfolded. I have cucumber, what do you call these things? Patches? Cucumber.
It's like a piece of cardboard that looks like a cucumber.
It's not cardboard. Anyway, I have see? Look
at God wanting you to tell the truth.
It's not cardboard. It's cucumber pads on my eyes to
What exactly do they
refresh, replenish, soothe the skin. So I can't see. And he said he was going to count us into this.
Who is he?
You.
Say my name, say my name.
He said he was going to count down when we were live, but he didn't do that.
3, 2, 1.
All I heard was the bloop, was the thing turn on, and
the rest is, as they say,
her story.
Wow.
And I was actually like in the middle of, I don't even know what I was saying, but I have about 10 more minutes of these patches on.
You fell victim to my seduction.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. Rejected.
Not rejecting you. I have some fantastical news. We are on social media.
What was that?
We are on social media. We are on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. All three at Take Two Podcast. Well, I think Facebook is just at Take Two, but Instagram and Twitter are Take Two Podcast. And mainly those platforms came about so we can do more interaction and get input from others when it pertains to topics. Now, I know usually Aaron and I will, each week will be a different person's turn. We'll come up with a topic the other one doesn't know. But today I shot out a topic on Instagram. And it is a topic that I heard on the radio a few weeks ago, and I thought it was very interesting. And I was actually waiting until it was time to film the podcast before I brought it up. But I was interested to know what people's thoughts were on if it's okay for a significant other or for your significant other to tell you what you can or cannot wear.
And granted, I did not hear this story on the radio. So this is the first time me and you are actually
discussing it.
So my response will be off the cuff and kind of candid. And anyway, so now that I know, and now that
you know, that I know that you know.
Now that you know that I know that we know.
Together.
Let's dive in. Let's get into it.
Yes. So how about you go first, and then I'll give my input, and then we can kind of share some of the responses from online, because at that point I will have taken these pads off my eyes and I'll be able to read from my phone.
Wow. All right. So the question is, should, could, would, should your spouse be able to tell you what you can and can't wear? That's the question, right?
Si, senor.
Oh my God. I don't like the way the question is phrased.
Okay.
Because I feel like if someone is telling you what you can and can't do, that leaves me with a sense of someone's trying to control another person. And me and you.
And I think that's the whole point, though.
Okay. Well, here's my view.
Break it down, brother.
Break it down. For 9/9/2000. Ah, wow. I wouldn't say it like that. I wouldn't say what they can or can't wear. I feel like when we go out, you're a reflection of me and I'm a reflection of you. And I've always said in our marriage that I wanted the love that I feel for you. And that I want that to resonate with people you run into at work and wherever you may be, the grocery store and at your family's house. And I want them to be able to see that you're someone who's loved. So I don't want you leaving the house looking raggedy or banged up or busted.
Yikes.
The peanut gallery, though. I don't.
That's me.
Wow. But at the same time, I think... Are you okay? I think at the same time, it's just like we were talking about not more than a couple minutes ago with the whole what you eat, do you control what your partner eats, and type of thing. I think it's, to an extent, you can only suggest or give an explanation why you feel uncomfortable with someone wearing something. So if you go out and your clothes got holes in them and you look like you ain't washed and your ankles is ashy, and I'm like, babe, now come on. You looking real busted.
Is that ashy ankle? Is that a personal dig at me?
Are your ankles habitually ashy?
I don't know about habitually, but, we have our moments. It's wintertime,
Oh, my God. It's not a personal dig at you.
Okay, just checking.
I think it's the equivalent of summertime and people go outside and their knees are ashy when they got shorts on. I hate to see the kids running around and their legs are all ashy and white and dry. Anyway.
Did you see the deer, honey?
Oh, you telling me to stay on task?
Yep, let's stay on topic.
Oh, I knocked them cucumbers off you. So I think that's my response. I think it's... and the same thing goes for me. I feel like if you see me going out and I'm like... it's maybe a little different because where I work, there's not really like a uniform or a dress code. I take that back. There is a uniform, so there's not really a dress code. I'm kind of limited on what I can wear and can't wear to work. But when we go out, I guess that's a completely different story. But I would say, from a couple standpoint, put yourself in the other person's shoes. If I go out and I got a cut off sleeve shirt and my arms is popping, and I'm going somewhere where it's going to be a lot of single ladies, and or I got a fishnet tank top on with my nipples poking through the shirt, would I really leave the house like that?
God, I hope not.
And this is an exaggeration, but I wouldn't, because if I put myself in your shoes, you know what I mean? I wouldn't think you would want me going out like that. So therefore, I would take it upon myself to go, you know what? I love my wife. I respect my wife. She probably don't want me going out in something like this. And if the shoe was on the other foot, I wouldn't want her going out in something like this. So, to that extent, I say a person should not control what you wear or don't wear. But I do feel like there should be some kind of mutual understanding of each other's feelings and taken into consideration. But we should also keep in mind that mustard is the new color for spring 2019.
Mustard is the color for spring.
Shout out to
Grandma Betty Johnson.
Betty Sukame Johnson.
Well, here's my take, and we'll get back to Betty later on.
That's an inside joke. Sorry, guys.
But I feel like I agree with you in the sense that that could be a form of control. But I feel like your partner, I feel like you should be respectful of your significant other. So I wouldn't wear anything that I would feel offensive or disrespectful towards you. Mm-hmm. So especially because we are married, I would not wear something revealing out in public, and you know, cause any type of disrespect towards you.
Well, I appreciate that.
And I feel that it should be vice versa. I think, sure. Can you give recommendations? Yes, absolutely. Because I do it to Aaron all the time.
Oh, hold up.
But I'm not...
I'd be dressing and revealing stuff.
No, honey. I'm talking about, like, you know, the cuffs and things like that.
You know what?
I'm just saying that's an example. But I would make a mere suggestion. Now, whether he takes it or not, that's on him. But I'm not going to... Hold on
a second.
Except for the cuffs.
I don't mean to break this train of thought, but I need...
Yes, you do.
I need to let the studio audience and our listeners know.
Oh, my God.
No, hold on. They need to hear it out. This woman threatened to divorce me if I put a cuff in my jeans again.
Ladies.
That's not control?
Ladies.
What is happening over here?
Okay, no, it's not control in the sense that... Well, I guess the saying "I'm going to divorce you" is ultimatum. But I wasn't really being serious. Like, I wouldn't really divorce my husband over cuffs.
You yelled it and stamped your foot at the same time.
Okay, but that was just to explain to you the seriousness of how much I disliked the cuff. So anyway, Back to what I was saying. I think you can give suggestions, and a lot of times, well, at least for me, my suggestion is, as you said, I'm a representation of you. You are a representation of me.
Right.
So I don't want you going out here looking like a hot mess on my name. That ain't happening.
Put some respect on it.
But I wouldn't rightfully tell you what you can and cannot do. I think that we are two adults who can make our own decisions. But like I said, I feel like it would be or should be respectful. I don't expect you to go out here and go to the beach in some Speedos with your junk showing.
Oh, my God.
And think that it's going to be okay with me, because it ain't.
Even if it was... Can I ask you a question?
You can do whatever you'd like. It's a free country.
Well, I know I can't put a cuff in my pants. I know that.
Jam Scipio.
Wow. This is beyond me.
Mm-hmm. You've been led astray.
I have been led astray. Babe, so then taking it a step further with that, what if it's something that's fashionable? Like, what if bikinis was all the rage, like, back in the day, and then, like, one pieces came back, and then...
A Speedo on a man will never be fashionable. On a straight man will never be fashionable.
Maybe not in this country.
Okay, well, we're not doing that.
Wow.
So that's my take on the situation.
Next.
But thank you. Next. But let me go ahead and share with you all some of the input that I got.
I think it's only fair we go back to the people and read what they got to say.
Exactly.
Make them a part of it.
Yes.
It's all about the people and the relationships.
Okay. So...
She's telling me to shut up.
On social...
You know what?
On social media, I posed a question. I said, looking for input for tonight's Take Two podcast topic. Should your significant other be allowed to tell you what you can and cannot wear? And I had quite a few responses. So I'm just going to go ahead and read some of them. And then we can, as we go along, we can give our response or give our take.
You told me to shut up.
Oh, my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, you did not hear those words come out of my mouth. Okay. One person said, if your significant other has to express displeasure in your clothing choices, there's clearly a disconnect. How do you feel about that?
If they have to express it?
Yeah, so if your significant other has to come out and tell you that they're displeased with what you're wearing, then there's a disconnect somewhere in that relationship?
Yeah, no. With women and men, there's always a disconnect. I think our minds are just in completely different places. And there has been time where it's been pouring down rain, like monsoon rain. And there's a flood warning in effect. And I'll go outside in like knee-high rubber boots, swimming trunks, a bright neon rain jacket, and orange work gloves, and you don't give a rat's behind what I'm wearing because I'm just out there to get, a storm drain unclogged or do something around the house so water that, like, there's times where you don't care what I'm wearing. And there are other times where it's like, you really gonna go out in that?
But I think we're talking about like going out not for something like that, but if we're going out somewhere casual or out to dinner, or I think that's more so what we're leaning on, and not just going out to go to the store looking a hot mess like I often do.
Wow. You don't look a hot mess when you go. Anyway. No, I think with men and women, especially husbands and wives, I think there's typically a disconnect. I think you can't always expect someone to be a mind reader and always expect someone to know what's on their mind. I think you can have in a general sense, what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. But there are still times I put something on and you're like, you gonna wear that with that?
This is true.
When I see you and I'm like, babe, what are you doing? You can wear them thin shoes and it's cold outside? Them China slippers is not gonna keep your feet warm. Like, there's disconnects there. But
That's not a disconnect, though.
I can tell you, well, according to this person.
No, I think what they're saying is that if your significant other has to express displeasure in your clothing choices, then there's a disconnect. So I think that they're saying that, like, for instance, if I am going to go out and wear something that's super revealing, that has my cleavage all out, or I'm wearing a dress or a skirt that's super short, and I just completely disregard how you feel about it, then there's a disconnect in that relationship.
I think that's what cuts this conversation into the two halves for me. I think there's one side where I'm thinking about people going out looking busted and looking a wreck, and there's another side of the conversation where people are talking more about wearing revealing clothing or something to attract the opposite sex. So even though for me, the way I see it, because this is what gets me in trouble more often than not, because I don't really have stuff that's revealing in my closet, but I do have stuff where I'm like, might look a little busted, a couple stains here or there, whatever the case, something don't match or whatever. But revealing, yes, I can agree with that individual. I think if you have to explain to them, hey, listen, one of your boobs is hanging out, you probably don't want to go out because that's disrespectful to me. Yes, I would say there's a level of disconnect there.
Thank you. Thank you for your response.
I feel like you're trying to play me right now.
I'm not. All right, our next response.
There's going to be a disconnect between me and you in a minute.
Our next response said, if your significant other is displeased with what you are wearing, there's a possibility in some cases that you have no respect for him, and maybe you should take that shit off and should never had it on in the first place.
Wow.
And then there's those that just don't want you looking good and complain, and those that do have their own issues internally that might need to be worked on. It all depends on the situation and who we're talking about.
I don't know who wrote this because I'm not looking at it. This sounds like this person's been through something.
Possible.
I would say it's a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Can you confirm or deny that?
I can confirm that it is a woman.
Yeah. Papa always knows.
Oh my gosh. So, do you have a response?
I don't know who hurt this poor girl. But, I get it. But at the same time, I think when two people are in a relationship and they both respect each other and the relationship, I think it just goes without saying that you need to be mindful of what you're putting on and how you present yourself in public.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to look too busted and too ratchet. And at the same time, you don't want to be too revealing and trying to... If you're not trying to catch any fish, it might be time to put away the bait.
I was about to say, he's trying to come up with some type of metaphor right now. I cannot. I love you.
I think you're trying to play me.
I don't know why he keeps saying that. All right, moving on. The next person said, 1, he's your husband, not your daddy.
Oh.
2, only if he's trying to keep you from looking like a potato.
Potato?
3, is your grandma going to be on this podcast? If not, can you please do one where you ask her questions, talk about her life?
I would legit love to have Betty on this show.
Yeah, and I talked about possibly having her on the next episode, but I wanted to come up with or get some good questions from people out in podcast land and see, what would be some great questions to ask her, because she's hilarious.
That'd be a nice segment to have.
Yeah, definitely. I think.
I want to ask this person, what do they mean by a potato?
Well, I think she's saying,
what makes you look like a potato?
I think what she's saying is that, and I'm just going by, she said he's your husband, not your daddy. So I'm assuming that she's coming from the standpoint that you can wear whatever you want. And the comment, only if he's trying to keep you from looking like a potato, then she's just trying, I think what she's trying to say is, yes, he can tell you what to wear if he's trying to prevent you from looking frumpy.
Frumpy?
Like
it doesn't go with your body type?
Or just, like you're wearing something that is not flattering to your body type.
I think a woman definitely wrote this, but with women, you have to be so very careful how you present that to them. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times we as men will just go, oh yeah, honey, looks great. And in the back of our minds, we're thinking, it's not flattering at all. But if we come out and say it's not flattering, we're going to get our head bitten off. So a lot of times we choose just to be quiet.
Well, I would want you to tell me.
So I would just advise all these guys out there, be very careful how you approach that. As far as he's your husband, not your dad type of thing, I don't know. I feel like this is, again, part of that.
Two halves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody hurt this person.
No,
there's a lot of hurt people out here.
I don't think that that's the case. I mean, I understand where they're coming from. Like, they're your husband. I don't know. It's twofold with that one.
So then
because it's like, you want to be respectful of your husband, but at the same time, you want to be your own person kind of thing.
If you tell me what to wear, what not to wear, I don't say you're my wife, not my mommy.
You don't?
Never have I said that.
You're right. You've never said that, but not in those words.
Wow.
So the next person, which happened to be Betty Grandma Diva Johnson.
That's the one.
She said, been there, done that. When you dress for someone else, you lose your own identity. You wear what makes you feel good about yourself and nobody else. Wear what you want in good taste and you go, girl. That's what I have to say on that.
Wow.
And I agree. I feel like when you do dress for somebody else, you do lose your identity. I think that all goes with, being yourself and being who you are. Because when you try to be somebody else for another human being, you do lose yourself and you lose your own identity.
And I personally have seen this. Again, hats off and round of applause to Grandma Betty, Granny B, as we call her. But hats off to her for the wise words. I've seen many men, and I feel so sad for them, who get in these relationships and end up wearing like matching sweatsuits or matching colors at church on Easter, and if you look at their face and you can tell they're miserable, and it's like, you poor bastard.
Oh, wow, babe.
Why do you have on that pink tie and that pink vest? Man, it's salmon, it's not pink. Bruh.
Is this from experience?
You've been had.
Oh, wow.
No, not for me personally, because I don't feel like I would ever sell out just to go, oh, sure, honey, I'll do it just to make you happy. You're going to continue to wear stuff that makes another person happy, but you're miserable in it? No.
Yeah, that's not cool.
That's where compromise comes in.
Not cool at all. And then we had another response. Someone said, I think your significant other should know what is and isn't appropriate to wear. But I could care less if she wants to rock, then rock it, baby. You mine in the end of the day. And that sounds like something that you would say, but you know, rock it. As far as me being confident in what I'm wearing, for you, I think it would more so be, you know, as long as I'm not wearing nothing out of the way. But definitely from a confidence standpoint. What are your thoughts?
I think from a confidence standpoint, yes. But I think there's a difference between being confident and wearing something that's flattering to you and something that's distasteful. You're no longer single and you're no longer trying to attract another mate.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a difference. And now I don't agree you should wear a bed sheet and only your eyes should be showing.
I'm dead.
But at the same time, I think there's a difference between, you know, wearing something that makes you feel good and makes you feel confident, and wearing something where you look like one of them women in the blue light district.
Wow.
So just keep it tasteful. That's all. I'm middle of the road with it. Just keep it tasteful. That's all.
All right. Well, there were a few other comments, but I don't want this to be a 5-hour long topic. I think we kind of get the gist of it. So,
are we beating a dead horse at this point?
No, I don't think we're beating a dead horse, but you know, there's only but so many of the same, you know, comments that you could have. But if we had to round this out and say in our relationship,
right,
what do you think it is?
One, I think you're already very mindful about what would make me feel a certain kind of way.
In other words, you better not put that on.
Babe. In other words, I'm saying I think you already, in the back of your mind, already know, oh, okay, he's not going to want me to wear that out. But at the same time, I think what I'm getting on you more about is wearing stuff that's either not dressing appropriate for the weather or, you know, something like that.
More so looking out for my well-being.
More so looking out for your well-being. So if I'm going to tell you what to wear or what to take off or put on, I'm going to say, babe, you should probably put on another sweater because that one has a hole in the armpit.
Good one. Trying to use true facts here.
If it really happened before. Or if I say,
yes, I know. Babe,
you don't have any other shoes to put on because aren't your feet going to be cold? Aren't your ankles going to be cold? You know, less fashion, more...
He likes to tell me what to do.
You know what?
But I like to tell him what to do too, so... yeah, it's even kill.
More so looking out for you, not so much concerned about trying to attract other people. I don't think you have that issue.
You are correct. I think you tell it from a good place. It's not trying to be controlling. And I'm trying to tell it from a good place, although it may come off controlling. But I think we're good with that aspect of our lives, you know? I don't think that topic pertains to us. And just FYI, like I did had to make this comment on social media that topic did not come about because of us personally. Like I said, I heard the topic on the radio and I thought it was a really good topic, so I wanted to bring it forth on Take 2.
Amen.
So yeah, I think that does it for that topic. Good job, babe. I like your responses to the comments that people left on social media. Mm-hmm. But again, we now have Take 2 on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And for those of you who may be joining us in today's podcast because of one of those platforms, I just want to introduce ourselves. I am Tiffany, and this is...
My name is Hove.
And this is... I can't. This is Aaron. We are a married couple, and we began this podcast because we wanted to just talk about all things relationships, and we named it Take Two because we felt like we had a second chance in life when it came to our relationship. So we come on each week and we choose a different topic, and we like to come on and discuss that topic. We also have the tendency to go online and do a live podcast. So we are just trying to grow our channel here and just, come up with different topics. We definitely like to be interactive and get information from the people out in podcast land. And so if you're listening for the first time, or this is your 20th time, definitely rate us and subscribe to our podcast so that you are notified when we put up new episodes. But we are thankful for everyone who has downloaded a podcast on however you listen to podcasts, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Lip Sync, whether it's Apple Podcasts. We are just very grateful. Thank you. And we are happy to come on here every week and discuss something new. It also helps us learn a lot about each other and learn about our strengths and weaknesses as a couple. Wouldn't you agree?
I'm just trying to stay awake for the rest of the podcast.
Oh, and on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next week. Thank you for joining us. Say bye, babe.
Bye-bye.